Stop it. Right now on the chat, is admitting to marriage issues the new album seller? Plus, the lack of cell phone etiquette has reached a whole new low. We've got to do better, people. Come on, y'all. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the chat. I'm Tony Fox. Today, it's Henny, Julie, Angelia joining the panel. Angelia and I are fresh from fishing is what we did today. Yes, it is.
Just actually, I'm smelling Julie's hair, and it smells phenomenal.
Good.
It does, really.
Yeah, it probably does smell better than we do.
Probably not so much.
Yeah.
A little salty.
We were fishing in the Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Media Tournament. It was today, and so we'll talk about that later and tell you how we did, because it was a tournament, so it was a competition.
Yep.
But now, let's chat, because that's what we do, right? We're going to get started with more drama that is coming from the Beyonce-Jay-Z marriage and Jay-Z's new album. Well, in a new video that Jay-Z just released, this was exclusively on Tidal, he admits that his relationship with Beyonce has had its issues. He says, quote, "I just ran into this place and we built this big, beautiful mansion of a relationship that wasn't totally built on the 100% truth. And it starts cracking. Then we had to get to a point of, okay, tear this down and let's start from the beginning. It's the hardest thing I've ever done." Of course, this follows Beyonce's Lemonade album, in which when that came out, it seemed like she was talking all about marriage drama as well. And, you know, Becky with the good hair, you know, did he cheat? And, you know, when that all happened with the Beyonce Lemonade album, I mean, I was like, well, how do we really know that, you know, musically, you know, you can write and record all kinds of things. Doesn't mean it's from your personal life. And then Jay-Z comes out with his album, and it's like, whoa. And now he absolutely admitted. You know,
Wait,
he
did
admitted.
Beyonce confirm it first? Did she ever confirm that those lyrics?
She
did mean
really
something, or she wait for
never
him?
did, as far as I knew. But Jay-Z, I mean, in this video, said.
Did we actually need him to say that, though, for us to know that? I mean, we knew by the knockdown drag out from Solange Knowles in the elevator a long time ago. And whenever they release stuff like this, when there's smoke, there's fire. And it may be kept under the rug, but it's still there. And we know that it was going on. I think everybody was not, I mean, we weren't idiots. We knew what was going on. But for them to actually come out and say it, I guess, you know, maybe it's going to help a couple of other couples out there, maybe get through whatever they need to get through to give them a little bit of power boost behind. I don't know. I think it
is pretty interesting to me, though, that he absolutely, because those two, since they started dating, remember, they didn't confirm they were dating, I think, until they were married. I swear. You know, they just took a long time to publicly say anything. They've been very tight-lipped always about the relationship. And for him to come out and say this, I think is a pretty big step. And I know a lot of people, you know, it's easy, again, to judge. Be like, hey, if he was cheating, why didn't she leave him, and yada, yada. But you also have a little girl in the relationship, you know, and you just...
now the new twin.
You know, and now the twin. So I think it could be a testament to the relationship that they decided marriage really is for keeps, and let's stick this out. You know, I don't know.
I don't know why this is... I don't know why, for some people, it's a surprise that Jay-Z, whether he was a rapper, a trash picker, or if he was a manager at McDonald's. Why is it such a surprise?
That he cheated, that he admitted? Yeah, which one?
I don't believe it.
You don't believe that he cheated?
I don't.
So, but why would he say what he did?
Because he wants to sell some albums, and he wants this, and he wants this. We're talking, and
but does he need it?
Keep in mind,
I don't think so, though, because she's really private. It doesn't matter
about needing it. You got to keep in mind he has a couple of businesses he needs to keep afloat, so we need to make sure
Tidal hasn't been doing that great.
Well.
I will say that.
And you know what? To actually watch the video that he admits this, you have to subscribe
to Tidal. Right. It was exclusively on Tidal.
They gave you a few seconds of the video, and they stop it. And if you want to watch more, you have to sign up for Tidal.
It's funny that you're saying this, because the article was detailing that they were starting to be more honest, because millennials want that. That's what they.
I'm not buying that, because neither one of them are a millennial.
So they're being honest and to be dishonest in a way. So
I don't think so, though, because I think whenever whatever circumstance he's saying happened, he's not really saying it. So if he's saying that he cheated or saying that they've been through it, then
lyrics,
I feel like that's embarrassing to the couple, and I feel like
they're this day and age. I don't think anymore.
I think for them, I think they're very private people, and I think they want to keep it private.
Because
so
their
for them
wedding
to
was
come
even
out,
private. If y'all remember,
their
wedding.
Say all of this.
No, it was super. So why now would he come out admitting to all this? I am not buying it.
Because she's probably making him do it. She's probably putting his feet to the fire. She's tired of this nonsense.
When you read some of the lyrics, he's saying, look, I apologize, often womanized, took for my child to be born to see through a woman's eye, took for these natural twins to believe in miracles, took me too long for this song, I don't deserve you.
I think he
that sounds like a man in the doghouse. Boy, bye. Not
something he needed to do.
Okay, so we're going to move on now into today's broken-hearted report. Smoking hot actress Idris Elba dropped some news that has some of us ladies confused, but others are very happy. In a recent interview with Essence magazine, Idris revealed that he just doesn't think marriage is for everyone, and after his divorce, he never plans to marry again. He said in part, marriage is an institution of sorts, and I've done it. It's not for everybody. It's not my life's calling.
That's LeBron James, by the way. That was not
Idris. I had nothing to do with that part.
I'm glad you caught that.
Idris really
not to get the body confused.
Okay, well, about what he is saying, I got 2 words.
Okay.
George Clooney.
That's exactly my
George
words.
Clooney said
That's your boo.
Yes.
Agree.
This is why I know. He said the same thing. George had a very short-lived marriage when he was young, and he said 4 years until Amal came along that he was never going to get married again. I mean, he said like what, Idris said. So, I know he's saying this now, and George said it and said it and said it and said it for years.
Does Idris have kids, though?
So,
yes, he does. Let me give you the scoop on Mr. Elba. I want to piggyback on what you said as far as the George Clooney thing. When the right person, whether it's a man or a woman, when that right person come along, you will change how you feel. So let me talk to you about...
Nobody thought that would happen with George Clooney. I mean, he's what, in
he
his
hadn't
50s,
met you yet.
like late, well, that's another issue.
So let me give you the scoop on Mr. Elba. He seemed, in my opinion, he have a little bit of commit issues. So he was.
So do most men.
That is true. Oh, I got stories about that. So let me go. Okay, his first wife was actually a makeup artist. Her name was Honey. We have a graphic of that. They were actually married for 4 years. Then, of course, they got divorced.
Is that the same girl?
It does.
No, it is not. You see his type, though. You see his type. Then,
women, right?
after a 10-year, after that marriage ended, he had a 10-year affair with a scripper, and her name was Desiree.
That's the middle girl?
No, all those are wives, and the stripper I'm talking about was the side chick. She don't fit in this picture. Sorry, I don't do side chicks.
She didn't get airtime.
No, not at all. So she was a pole dancer, and when they broke that off, he met Sonia, which is in the middle.
Okay.
They looked like sisters.
Yes. And then the lady in the red, she is the British mother. She have a 2-year-old son with Idris. He actually walked out on them, but in the process of dating her, he also had a 8-month affair with this chick named K. Michelle. She's an R&B artist. She was just here this weekend.
So he cheated on all
he is a cheater, baby. But listen to this. Wow. Sonia, who was the second wife, she's actually a property attorney. They were only married for 6 weeks.
Whoa.
And he came home and told her, you know what? His people, his attorneys, everyone was telling him, you are a heartthrob. People love you. Getting married is going to ruin your Hollywood image. You need to get rid of her. And he did it. He actually walked out.
Here's the difference now between him and George Clooney then.
Yeah, there is a difference.
He tried marriage and he found out it didn't work.
Yes.
Many times.
And he said that that's not for me. So now he realizes that I've been there, done that, and I can't because it is an institution.
Yeah.
And he felt a little maybe trapped by it.
And he played around.
And there's many people
he definitely plays around.
Marriage is important.
Oh, definitely. But
I mean, there is a difference between him and George Clooney. The thing I will say about George Clooney, that he would date these women, and he got into many long-term relationships. It would go 2 years and 3 years, and they all didn't look the same. But as far as we know, of course we don't know exactly, but he wouldn't, like you said, he wasn't running around on them. He would dump one girl and go and date another, which if you're single, what the heck, Nobody would have said anything about Tiger Woods if he'd been single back in the day when he was, seeing every girl from East Coast to West Coast. So there's a little bit of difference.
He's doing himself a favor in the women
I
that
think
he's involved with, too.
Yeah, I don't like all that cheating stuff.
I know.
But he still has great abs.
But if the girls are throwing themselves at him, which I'm sure they are because he's a handsome fellow, then he's not really to blame. I mean, the girls know he's married and they're still laying
Well, yes, he
down
is because he's the married one.
Girl, please.
Oh, God. All right, something else that may not be for everyone, being the best at your job, at what you do. According to a new study out of Florida Atlantic University, people who feel like they're overqualified for their jobs or that they're a big fish in a small pond are almost always unsatisfied and unhappy at work. The researchers say it's because we have a basic human need to be challenged, to feel like our efforts are actually paying off. So even though it sounds like it'd be a great idea to be spectacular at your job, supposedly it's actually a bad idea. So what do you think? Big fish, small pond, good idea?
I can tell you, as a business owner, I've seen it, and it is just so detrimental to your business and the people around you as well. And I just want to know, why are you then applying for this job, or why are you still in this job if you feel like you are overqualified? Because I have a small business that has about 10 to 15 people, so that negative attitude, it easily spills over, and you can walk into that place and you feel it. So it was bad for the people that work there because it brought the morale down, and it was bad for all of our customers that could feel it as well. And what was I going to say? Just the fact that they are, because I've had people that felt like they should be running the restaurant and instead are serving it. So they don't do their duties, and then it's putting the responsibility on everybody else. And it's so hard to get them in line to say that, you know, you're never overqualified for anything.
Can you get those people in line, though? Can you, if you have that type of attitude, can you even get them in line?
I have tried and tried and tried, and to say that you're not being challenged, then that job is not for you. And you need to find something that is going
to play devil's advocate, though. Doesn't everybody have a job that they think that they can do maybe better than their boss?
Well, there's
everybody think, if I would have done this, it would have been better. If I had run the show, don't people think that? I feel like everybody thinks that way in every job.
Those are usually the ones who really can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's true. But we all feel that way. I mean, I feel like every job that
there's a lot of jobs where I say I would not want that job.
I couldn't probably, but I feel like, I could run the show. I could do that.
But there's a difference,
run the business.
When you really are carrying that attitude with you day after day after day, and you're not doing anything about it.
I think employers use overqualified as an excuse that, you know what, we really don't want you, we want someone else, but at least we interviewed you, we're reaching our quota for interviewing people. You know, and complete transparent, many years ago, I was looking for jobs, and I heard that a lot. You're just overqualified. We can't afford you. You're overqualified. And I'm thinking, what? Back then, I thought it was BS. And I still think it's partly BS. But I also think, you know, with the research with this, it was, you know, that some people think it is an excuse for them to get out of it.
Right. Well, it's a nice way to say you're not a fit for us. So,
just say that.
I mean,
or maybe they knew.
Overqualified means.
Okay, but wait a minute. Overqualified, no, that can be a thing, because you can, for instance, if it is an entry-level position and you're someone who has a lot of managerial experience, I mean, they may feel like, well, this is entry level.
But they can look at it as, I'm coming in with some, I have a lot to bring to the table. Maybe I can help to elevate the business.
Well, I do understand what you're saying that, but if it's an entry-level position, they see your resume, they're like, dude, you're not going to go for, you know, $15 an hour, you know what I mean?
Because, and then also, maybe there's not room for you to grow, or we feel like we can't match what you are valued and what you're worth. So I have probably turned people away because their resume is so amazing, but I'm like, you know, we're a small cafe. Eventually, I'm not going to be able to afford you, and I know you're going to leave.
Do you think, and not because, not your place, but when business owners turn away people because of their resume, is it overqualified, or is it afraid they're going to come and take over?
I would love for someone to come and take over. If anyone, I have been looking for this for a long time, so no, please, have at it.
Maybe that person's going to know more than you.
Yeah, great, even better. It's only going to be better for the business, but I can see where you're
Where to send the resumes, Julie?
Info at presentmomentcafe.com.
As long as they make good pad thai still.
Yeah, there you go.
Best pad thai in town.
All right, well, here's something that should make anyone feel good. 80 strangers coming together to help out a family that was caught in a rip current. This is an amazing story. Roberta Ursi and her two sons, 8 and 11, went out on the water. This happened in Panama City Beach. But when they were far out, Ursi realized they were caught in a rip current. It was bad. Several family members swam out to help. They ended up getting stuck as well. That's when 80 strangers, 80 people on the beach. They came together to form this human chain, and they had to reach about 100 yards into the ocean. This is a story about the kindness of strangers, their quick thinking, their coordination rescued this family. It was incredibly serious. It may not sound that serious. The poor grandmother was out there. She had a massive heart attack.
She did.
She actually was telling her family members, just let me go, save yourselves. And the 80 people on the beach.
Do you know how hard it is to get 80 people to do anything?
Yes, I know.
It's like herding feral cats. And whoever the ringleader was of this, that person's going to go far, because that is an amazing effort. I am just so surprised.
I just love seeing stories like this, though. I mean, this reminds me of being back in 9/11 days, whenever people come together of all walks of life. I mean, black, white, politics totally set aside, Democrats and Republicans, doesn't matter. They hold hands and they save a life of somebody who needs to be saved. Everything else is off the table, and it's just human being and nature taking over very quickly. And so that was amazing.
You just gave me an idea. Does this mean we need to take Trump and the administration and put him in a rip current?
Yes.
And then
and then the Democrats will not save him.
And then we have Congress and all the senators all mixed up and say, go save him.
You know only half of them are going to show up,
Okay, maybe we shouldn't do this experiment. Maybe it will fail. I don't know.
But I would love to talk to the people that were a part of that and ask them, you know, how did you know to get involved and where to go and how to, you know, just unite?
Well, actually, from what I read, if I can remember this, the mom looked out and she saw her two sons, 8-year-old and 11-year-old. They were in trouble. She normally can swim really well, but because of the rip current. So then people just started yelling, and this lady and her husband was walking by, and she noticed what was going on. At first, she said she thought it was a shark, but as she looked closer, she realized from the screaming and yelling that someone was in trouble. She was a very good swimmer, and it was actually her idea, and said, "Let's go." She and her husband jumped into action, and they started that chain going, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And I kind of, you know, prayers out to, like you mentioned, the grandmother. She was 67 years old. Her name is Roberta. The grandmother name is Barbara. We actually have a screenshot. There she is in the hospital bed. She's doing a lot better. She did suffer a heart attack through all this, but
she died in the ambulance.
Well, she coded. She didn't die. She coded in the ambulance, but they were able to resuscitate her and bring her back to life. Thank God. And she is expected to make a full recovery. But I could imagine.
Look how happy they are. Look at how happy. I mean, they
Tony,
survived
do you think
an amazing feat.
If you were out there, that you would have been one of the link? Like, what if I said,
I would have done it.
What if I was like, hey, I got you. Don't worry, I'll hold you.
And
I think I would have trusted you.
It took them almost an hour to get this done. So an hour.
Wow.
So they were very, very worn out by the time they were done, but it was so worth it.
I just worried that I'd be out on the beach and I'd be so oblivious to anything. By the time I noticed it'd be all over. Because I'm just one of those people go, what happened?
Butterfly.
Like right here it happened? How did I not see that? I don't know.
Well, there are a lot of people kind of walking back and forth. You can see behind. Some are swimming, some are just walking.
That's me. That's
like, oh, what event?
All right, well, coming up next, we're going to see if that positive faith in humanity sticks with us as we go over some of the big no-nos of cell phone etiquette. What drives you crazy? We're sharing our opinions on the matter, so come back and see if you agree with us.